Susie, because we can hear all that going on.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna wait. Is Kevin there yet?
You're live.
Sorry?
You're live.
Oh,
You told me to hit it.
I'll call this meeting in order. I would ask that Ms. Davis and Mr. Deal allow all the motions to occur here at the office here, main office, so that way we could have less interruptions moving forward. Roll call, please, Ms. Pinkley.
Mr. Pig,
I am here.
Mr. Deal,
Here.
Ms. Stidham,
Here.
Dr. Henry, Ms. Davis.
So what time are I gonna be running?
We have established a forum. I'm back up in Thursday Department meeting, trustee, board of trustees.
I'm running.
Of December 21st, 2023, 3 p.m. Meeting. It had to get moved up because of a lot of different persons, mainly me. Other things on my day.
Was I on the phone with you?
Hold on a second. Could somebody please mute their
Or was I on
stuff?
the phone with Jandra?
I think it's us. It's.
Was I on the phone with you or was I on the phone with Jandra?
No, I don't think so.
Let's see.
I'm gonna ask that the reading of the mission, vision, and purpose, Ms. Henry, would you please be so kind?
Yes. The mission of JCHD is to champion positive health outcomes and behaviors through innovative programs and community engagement. The vision is advancing the health and safety of Jefferson County. The purpose of the health center is that the Jefferson County Health Department is established, maintained, and operated for the improvement of the health of all inhabitants of Jefferson County.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. I think we have one thing to be removed that I'm aware of. Stidham,
Yes, and I'm looking for it on here.
new business, number 4.
Number 4. I'd like to make a motion to, I guess, to remove this from the agenda, and I don't think it needs further discussion after this. So if we can remove this from the agenda, I would
At this
appreciate it.
point in time, all right. First, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, so I have first and second. Is there any discussion on the matter? Okay, not hearing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I
No.
Opposed, right? Motion carries. Now I need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I make a motion to.
I need to know what time I need to be there. I need to
Second.
know what time I need to be.
Having a first, second, is there any discussion on the matter?
I do, but
Not hearing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Sorry, sir. Ms. Davis is looking at the camera, but there's no sound.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to, that's not on our end. I don't know how to fix that.
We can't hear you. You want to unmute your stuff?
She's not muted.
the things that you're saying are taking me on an emotional roller coaster. Why?
Do you have another tab playing, Miss Davis? Like if you're on your computer or something, is there another tab? Like playing a video or something?
You just want to fucking say yes and then you're not going to do it. No, I'm not coming there. No, I'm not coming there. You just want to say yeah and you're not going to fucking do it.
Would you please mute whoever that is? Is it us? Is it them?
No, it's her.
Okay, Ms. Davis, we're getting a lot of background and some language that shouldn't be used on your end. I don't know where it's coming from. You wish to call her and see what's happening? I'm gonna continue on. Sorry, but we're gonna move on. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes and expenditures. Pardon me?
Welcome of guests.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. Well, got sidetracked. Welcome of guests. I know there's Mr. Leaderbrand's here and the Leader News Publications here, so welcome. I apologize, thank you. Next is the approval of the minutes and expenditures, approval of the October 26, 2023 meeting minutes. Do I have a first on that?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Is there any discussion on those meeting minutes? All right, not hearing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
And I
Any
Abstain.
opposed? You abstain. Have one abstention. So Susie, if you could thumb up. We still can't hear you. Did you unmute her? Unmute her again, see if she's there.
She's unmuted. She's not muted at all.
No. You called her? Answer your phone, we're calling you. Call Ms. Lomber. I'm sorry, folks.
You have
It's always
her-
fun with
Can you have
technology.
her type in the chat, or thumbs up, thumbs down her vote so that at least can be recorded?
If you can give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, that'll help. I don't know what else to do.
There's not much that we can do.
But that, where's the background noise? It is coming first up there. Okay, so we have, I'm not sure, did she vote? You have to know on that.
I don't believe she has.
303 extension, so that'll carry. It almost sounds like it's another computer's opened up on her thing.
I was wondering if there was another tab or something.
All right. Ms. Coleman, is there any reason for me not to continue?
No, I mean, if it gets down to a close vote, we'll have to record her vote some way.
I know.
But the minutes need to reflect that she
We'll
didn't vote.
move forward on the minutes. We'll see if
Or can
hopefully
you
we
just
get
put her on
it taken care of.
speakerphone
I was
then?
gonna say, can you just put her on speakerphone?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Yes, now we can.
You can hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me? 1, 2,
Yes.
3?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So on the next thing is the approval of the November 17th, 2023 special meeting minutes. Do I have a first?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
First and second. Is there any discussion on the matter? Not hearing any, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is approval of December 6th, 2023 special meeting minutes. First,
I make a motion to approve those minutes.
thank you. Second.
Second?
Second.
Okay, we're gonna do all that here. We have a first and second. Any discussion on the matter? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion does carry. All right, next on the agenda is approval of the November 2023, and I didn't get the amount. Expenditures, I apologize.
$104,341.03.
All right, what was it again?
$104,341.03.
All right, so there's a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Having a first and second, is there any discussions about the November 23 expenditures?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Davis.
I wanna call attention to the legal fees that we have from Chrissy Coleman's office. Looks like about $5,600 this time. That is still double what we were paying in legal fees when I came on board. I'd like to see it back to normal again. It has come down from double digits, 10, 15, 12, $15,000 a month she was charging us. Now we're down to $5,600 a month. I'd like to continue to see that come down to a reasonable range. And I believe that because we're seeing our health department is using that legal services as too much for consulting. I think we need to depend more on our staff doing their job and
Yes.
not always
So,
bring everything by the legal department.
You have a
So-
question. Ms. Davis, you have a question.
So that's
Ms.
my
Davis,
comment on record,
have-
and thank you.
you have a question.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we will, when you are able to attend the meeting here live, next live meeting with everybody here, we will have discussion on legal expenses. A full onslaught discussion of where they're going, and what the cost is and what's happening. So we were gonna address that straightforward. Do you have any other questions?
No, that just needs to be on record that I
Okay,
made
well,
those
it's,
comments,
it's
please.
on record, it's put out there every time, it's on the website, so. I to approve the November 23 expenditures. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Is there any opposed? Ms. Davis,
None.
is that a yes or no?
I'm in approval of the expenditures.
Okay, you are approving.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure. All right, so the next is the approval, November 23 electronic payments.
I'd like to make a motion for $490,324.71.
Okay, there's a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Second.
Is there any, thank you. Is there any other is there any discussion on the electronic payments? Not hearing any, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And this will be pre-approval of the January 24 electronic payments.
The amount of $602,365.52. I make the motion.
First and a second. Is there any discussion on that matter? Not hearing any, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Next we have is, Director's report, Ms. Lawler.
I'd like to begin with our mission moment. We had a really full agenda last month, and so I'd like to bring forward our mission moment from November. As we close out 2023 and reflect on our guiding principles that have been our guideposts for our work the past 4 years, it's important to reflect on not only what we've done, but also on how and why we've done it that way. Looking at our strategic priorities for the period of 2019 to 2023, our 4 pillars were organizational excellence, enhancing the agency culture, establishing the organizational brand, and collaborate and innovate to provide service needs to the community. And looking at, in order to accomplish our priorities, it's imperative that we cultivate a supportive culture and live our JCHD values. The 2 stories reflected in this month's mission moment are just 2 examples of the exemplary service our staff provides to residents every day. I encourage those who begin to report online to view our videos on our YouTube channel and then as well.
Anything else? Oh.
This one
I guess that you were doing something over here. That TV's supposed to be on too, so I can kind of see. Leaving the chair in the dark.
My name is Katie. I'm the Office Support Services Supervisor for the Jefferson County Health Department. I've been with the agency for a little over 7 years. October allowed me to be a piece of some major mission moments here at the agency. We had a vaccine clinic that I was part of. I was also part of the Rotary Golf Tournament. And I'm part of everyday small mission moments that I'd like to capture during this season of giving and gratitude. We had the opportunity to help a gentleman who came in with a prescription for some wellness labs. He is between insurances right now, so he was really not able to pay for his services. And had he gone to a major lab in the area, his services could have been upwards of $1,000. Through our agency, we are able to contract pricing with one of those major labs, and we are able to save folks hundreds and hundreds of dollars. With a generous donation from the Jefferson Foundation, we were able to let this gentleman leave the office without having to pay anything. He cried, we cried, he didn't have the money, he didn't have the insurance, and he really didn't know how he was gonna pay for these wellness labs that he needed. So that mission moment, it helps us to recognize why we're here and what we're doing. The second mission moment I want to share with you is at 5:15 on a Wednesday. We had a young lady and her sister come in who were unhoused, and they had major food insecurity, so they weren't sure where their next meal was going to come from. And mind you, it was 5:15 on a Wednesday. So our OSAs are always closing up, getting ready to balance for the end of the day. And they spent a good 45 minutes with her, providing her with resources bus passes, pamphlets, brochures, phone numbers, information, everything that she was gonna need to be able to make a couple of phone calls the next day and get herself taken care of. The OSAs were crying. The unhoused individual and her sister were crying. I was so proud as a supervisor to see that my staff was willing to take the time to provide a mission moment, even when it was super close to them being off work. I am so grateful every day to work for an agency whose main vision is to advance the health and safety of Jefferson County and to really live that out each day in our work.
Thank you. I'm grateful to say that those kinds of opportunities and moments are not unusual around here. It is really refreshing to be able to see, when people will come in they'll call or they'll come through the front doors with an issue, and the OSAs will connect them with our resource navigator, who will make a handoff phone call to the right person for the right resource, or if somebody needs medical care, helping to really bridge those connections. And that's just something they do every day. Moving to just my updates, I just had 2 quick updates. Again, letting you guys know, the planning continues for our strategic goals. So we're still working on our strategic plan, job descriptions, performance appraisals, and annual reports. So we're getting ready to do contract reviews, as well as looking through the beginning of starting the phases of working on a new building, which will be talked about later. As far as recognition, I wanted to just acknowledge the staff for Jefferson County Health Department received the first annual award for innovative leadership from the Missouri Center for Public Health Excellence. We received that in December at their annual meeting. So the programs that were cited, so we had a couple of different proposals that were put forward as far as submitting for the awards, and one of them was regarding Aspen. One of them was regarding the wellness van and the services that how they go about finding and ensuring that they're able to provide services in areas of high need. And as well, the coming opioid dashboard, which will be coming at the end of January. 2 of those programs have been submitted as best practices to the National Association of City and County Health Organizations. So just letting you guys know, our staff they're seeing the issue, they're finding creative ways to address them, and they're being recognized by the community for those efforts. So just wanted to prop them up there and say great job. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So next on the agenda would be old business and new building updates. Mr. Sykes.
Thank you. I'll have a copy of this, right? All right. So the building isn't completed yet, just let you know that. I know we'll be getting asked that a lot. No, so good news is the loan has been finalized. We're good there. I don't know if you have anything you want to add about that?
Put down our 20% today. This
Very,
happens.
very large check there. So we're good there. We also have signed the contract with Brockmiller. We did that on December 6th. Brockmiller Construction will be doing the work. We had our first pre-construction meeting kickoff with the contractor Monday. Went through some of the ground rules of what they expect and what we should expect. One of the big things that they pointed out is safety, on-site safety. And I put it in I thought it was important enough, I put it in the report. We can't have unauthorized staff, board members on site. So if anyone wants to visit the construction site, if you're a board member, you need to get in touch with Tim. He can work with me because I have to contact them. If staff want to go out, I want to be with them and go out. So it's a major safety concern on there.
So we just so everybody knows, especially the board members, we're gonna set up a time for a groundbreaking. We're not quite sure on that, but we'll give everybody enough time to knowledge to know when that's gonna happen. And then we're gonna set some milestone targets for us to go as a group, or when we can go on a day, maybe either before or after a board meeting, to go and just look and see what's going on. But, for the first, I'm gonna tell you, 2 or 3 months, we just need to stay out of the way.
Right.
Cause they won't have anything needing to look
Won't be
at,
much
it'll
to
be
see
ground
anyway.
and digging, and, when they start going up and they start kind of getting the sticks or the metal 2x4s up, and they kind of get it framed in, then we can go take a sharp tour then, but
Right.
we'll schedule it up for everybody.
I mean, there's nothing to say you couldn't drive on the road that goes by and look down at it, but just don't go down onto the site.
Thank you, Steve, for that.
Big thing there. So, and the other thing, Tim just mentioned, we are planning a groundbreaking. I figure we'd want to wait till there's some snow on the ground or something to do that, but it'll probably be in January, huh?
When it's frozen.
Yeah. Late January or 1st of February is what they were thinking. We need to put a list of people that we want involved in that ceremony. I think they may get us hard hats, and a shovel.
Shovel for me.
Yeah, so we'll get that all worked out. Any questions on that?
No, we are officially going,
So
so.
we are officially, yeah, I sent the letter, they signed, we're back, the notice to proceed letter, so we're all good. I should get
All the finances in, all the contracts are signed, the checks been signed.
so they'll send a timeline of all the processes.
Which will change.
Yeah, I'll get that out and we'll talk about that next week.
So by this time next year, we should be
Hopefully,
having our Christmas board meeting there, maybe?
Be close, just depends on the weather and what they can get.
how they roll.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
we'll look forward to monthly updates. Next on the agenda is the second reading of the proposed bylaws. Mr. Coleman?
So I sent out, and with Jenny's help, we sent out the proposed final version of the bylaws. There were just a couple of changes from what we went over in detail last month. One of those is that we went ahead and updated the purchase limitations. There were the finance section, the director and the comptroller consulted with each other, tried to figure out what would be a better operational figure to put in that section, so that's been updated. We also updated an Article 4, Section E under the executive director's authority. We have determined that we recommend to terminate non-direct level employees, but we added it in consultation with the personnel committee. That really kind of serves as a protection for the board and the director, that has the access to the personnel committee, and the personnel committee can ask any questions that it may want to ask that may indicate like risk factors associated with certain terminations, but just to make sure that open line of communication is there. Other than that, clean up with formatting, and Jenny fixed my pagination issues too.
Sorry.
Well, it's what happens when you take a PDF and try to make it into a Word document.
All righty. Anything else? Okay. So next on the old business is act on recommendations to adopt and amend the bylaws. Do I have a motion to do such?
I make a motion to accept these as our new bylaws. Yeah.
So we have first and second. Is there any discussions on the matter?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Davis?
I wish to record, in my opinion, my opposition to the bylaw changes that this board is proposing to pass.
Ms. Davis, you
And
can.
I need you to
you do
bear
so
with
by
me
voting
and
no.
allow me, I'm sorry, are you interrupting
You
me?
will,
What do
you
you
will
need?
do this by voting no. That's fine.
Sir, as a trustee, I'm elected by the people.
Yes,
the
ma'am, and all your
people-
questions have been answered.
people
You've made
have
your
elected
objections
me,
known last
sir.
time,
Sir, I have the floor. The people have elected me
and I have the right to take the floor
as,
from you.
as,
You're not gonna-
as a trustee to oversee and we have bylaw changes getting ready to go into effect. And I
Double
have a
perhaps.
right as a trustee to oppose certain items in there and explain why on public record. That's what I'm asking. You're wanting to vote on it today, correct?
We're gonna vote on it, and we're gonna vote
Okay,
on it.
you're gonna vote on it,
Don't make
and no
your
matter
objections
what I
last
say,
meeting.
I
Ms.
get,
Davis, did you
sir,
make your objections last meeting? Yes, you did.
sir,
There's no
Sir.
recourse to do it again.
I know that it doesn't matter what I say, because I know there's a majority that will pass this today, but on record, I need to say what I need to say, because there's several things in here that are very, very against the whole soul of why we have a board of trustees for the health department of Jefferson County. For
No,
one
ma'am.
thing, it was set up to allow 5 separate people voted on by the public to come in and
Ms. Davis, you have a
bring
point.
their different ideas to the table and openly discuss things and bring
And we've
that
already
together
done
as
this.
board. So what these bylaws are going to do is they're going to take away, if there's an opposing trustee and a majority of the board does not care for a particular trustee, this is going to give them the power, because of allegations they can bring forth, instead of what the law says is, here's what the law says. It says, if a trustee is not doing their duty, and if a trustee or if a trustee is doing something criminally wrong, then that's a good reason to bring forth an impeachment. I get that. But the way you guys are putting this together with the bylaw changes that you have, it says that if a trustee has allegations brought against them because of policies, yada, 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 you literally can come up with anything you want to. You can bring a trustee into censure. You can bring them into impeachment. Doesn't have anything to do with if they're doing their duty or if they're criminally
Mr. Chairman,
responsible for something.
could you call the vote, please? We've
Mr. Chairman, in
discussed this,
in all fairness, sir,
several
sir,
times.
Point of order,
They've been
please.
asked
I
and
have the
answered.
Calling
floor,
everybody
Mr.
to
Chairman.
order.
Call the
Could you
Calling
please
question.
bring
everybody
it
to
into
order.
order? That
I'm calling
Mr.
everybody
Deal is,
to order. Ms. Davis, relinquish the floor now.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms.
in all
Ms. Davis,
due respect, sir,
relinquish, would you please mute Ms.
in
Davis?
all due respect, sir,
Would you please
we're
mute Ms.
not in
Davis?
any hurry on this
Would you please
matter.
mute Ms. Davis? I've already called you to order. You're refusing to come to order. Just for the record for everybody, she's made the same allegations and statements and opinions that she doesn't like it. She thinks it's against her. It is not. It's a governance for all of us to fall under. The same way these rules are with any other one, with any other entity that we have going around in the county, in the state, and in our own country. If we all remember, George Santos has just been recently removed from the Congress by the Congress itself. He was not even convicted of anything, but they removed him because of his actions. Was it justified? According to them, it was. So I'm telling everybody here, this is the same thing that we're doing here. Do I want to remove anybody? No. All I'm asking is people comport themselves accordingly. And when you have people that are not, and they start doing things and it becomes a distraction, as it has been in this session, then it is. Make your objections known. Everybody's always allowed to make their objections known, no matter who they are, but the continual repeating of it and acting as if we're doing something illegal or wrong is not going to happen. Ms. Davis, if you have, wrap it up in 2 minutes, I'll give you 2 more minutes. Please unmute her.
If I could not be interrupted, I would be happy to wrap this up, okay?
You have 2 minutes.
Okay, so what I see happening, and on record, I'm gonna say this, is that we are taking away our board's future board. Who knows who the future members of the board will be? We could have a board completely leaning in another direction in the future. Doesn't matter. You're going to say that even with a minority of votes, you can impeach an elected trustee for whatever reason. Okay, not because they're guilty of something, and not because they're doing something wrong criminally, or they're they're showing up, they're doing their job. That's the 2 things to consider. Not because you have something against a board member, and so you're drumming up charges. Okay, so that, I'm gonna say that. Okay, so I'm done with that, okay? Here's what it does. It breeds corruption. There is no checks and balances. This is designed to allow a director of a health department here to have full control of everything, and the board has no say as far as how things are directed. So for instance, you're mentioning in these bylaws that when we come to do our board duty, that we have to present an agenda of why we're coming in to visit the health department that day. Really? How about we just come in and walk around, and if something we think is something, we ask about it or whatever. Why would we be directed by bylaws what to say and do? And you have to come up with this ahead of time. All these things you're putting in here are completely, utterly ridiculous.
Ms. Davis, wrap it up.
And, okay.
Mr. Chairman, she's
so
had
again,
she's had more than enough time to tell people
Mr.
things
Chairman,
that are absolutely
Mr.
false.
Deal is out of order.
You're out of order, ma'am.
He's interrupting. I have the floor, sir.
Please move both of them.
And
All right,
you're
calling you
asking
both
me
to
to wrap
order.
it up, and
Ms.
I'm
Davis, I'm calling you to order. Ms. Coleman, would you like to rebut or refute any of the things that Ms. Davis just said, or would you like me to?
So, during the last board meeting, we had a detailed explanation, complete with PowerPoint so that the public could see the specific, sections that were being amended and why. Again, that's something that we could have done it closed because it was privileged communication, but we wanted to be transparent with the public so they know what was going on. After that meeting, Ms. Davis sent a lot of questions and comments to me and to the other board members that were a reiteration of things that she said in the board meeting. I took the time to go through and respond in writing to Ms. Davis and the board as to each one of her questions. Did not have any follow-up that I received from her. So the public is aware, it's not by anything other than a majority that impeachment could happen. It specifically states that it not only needs to be a majority of the board, but they have to be physically present. It has to be all 5 of them here in order to have that vote. This is an example. I know that Ms. Davis complains about legal fees. This is a really good example of some legal fees that have been expended ad nauseum to explain things to her in writing, to explain them to her in the public meetings, to explain things to her one-on-one. These are the same kinds of concerns that she, I've explained to her multiple times. And some of the things that she's alleging just they're simply not true. I would encourage the public to read the bylaws once they are passed so they can understand them better. And if they have questions, to direct them to the communication center.
Is there any other body, and either you, Ms. Stidham, or you, Ms. Henry, have any questions or thoughts? Mr. Deal, would you please unmute Mr. Deal? Mr. Deal, do you have any thoughts or questions on this?
Mr. Chairman?
I'm not talking to you, Mr.
Why was I muted when I had the floor?
You don't have the floor, ma'am. I did.
I'm sorry, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I just like to say, I obviously totally agree with what our attorney said. Ms. Davis is telling people untruths. I don't know where she gets these ideas, but they're just absolutely wrong, and they're not in any of the work we've done. So that's only my comment. I'm getting tired of her hearing her tell people things that are just not true. Thank you.
I'm going to call the motion to order, please.
Mr. Chairman.
This is the vote to act on recommendation to adopt the amended
As an elected
bylaws.
person, I
So
need
I'm
to
calling
finish
a roll call
what I
vote.
have to
Excuse
say
me,
about
Ms.
these
Davis.
bylaws.
We're in the process of voting on this. I'm going to call for roll call vote on for the amendment to accept the bylaws as written.
Mr. Pig,
Yes.
Mr. Deal,
Yes.
Ms. Stidham,
Yes.
Dr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Davis.
Vehemently no. Absolutely, positively.
So we're moving
No.
on. The next order of business was that, by the way, that did pass 4-1. Moving on to new business, to act on recommendations of approval of the 2024 holiday schedule. Someone like to make a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 holiday schedule.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. First and second. Is there any discussion on the matter?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
One thing I would like to bring to the board's attention is the fact that, Christmas is on Wednesday next year. And so in looking at, how we're going about staffing offices, that may make it difficult as far as trying to figure out how we go about doing that. I would like to request the opportunity to discuss with the personnel committee if they have any options, or if you guys have any opinions of how we might ensure staff, but as well
All right.
work around that holiday.
All right. That's in the future. Thank you. All right. Not hearing any other discussion. All in favor of the approved holiday to approve the 2024 holiday schedule, please say aye.
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 All right. Any opposed? Should not be any. Motion carries. Next act is to act on the recommendation to approve the 2024 Jefferson County Health Center budget.
Okay, so the major differences.
You want to hold on a second?
Oh, sure.
Do I have a first?
I'll make my motion.
Wait a second.
Second, please.
I have a first and second. Now you can discuss it, please.
I was really excited.
I know. I can appreciate that.
numbers. Not even. The changes from the preliminary to the final budget, the major changes, that was removal of the environmental water lab revenue and expenditures. We did an addition of the wellness van grant revenue and expenditures, which caused the removal of the wellness van non-operating expense that we had at the bottom. There is the addition of the environmental training fund, the revenue and expenses that go with that. Addition of the local public health disparities initiative remaining revenue and expenses. Addition of the local public health association incentive revenue and expenses. And the addition of 4 quarterly interest payments for the new building. And also an addition of new building reserves, to offset any expenses that we might have. And that's the major drivers.
Okay. So is there any other discussion points on the budget for 2024? I know this probably won't be the only adjustment that we'll make to the budget. All right, I'm going to call the motion for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Ms. Davis, did you vote aye or?
It was an aye.
Okay. All right, the next is act on recommendation to approve the 2024 employee base raises. Do I have a first on that? A motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a first and second. Ms. Ballmer, do you wish to discuss any of this?
Oh, I was gonna ask you, want to know the number, or do you wanna?
I'm sorry?
The total number in the 2024 budget is 154,702 for raises. And that equates to a maximum increase for hourly staff of $1 per hour and a 4% increase for salaried staff. But that would be the total, and all of that has been in the budget that was just approved.
This is already in the budget, correct?
I think we need to address the job audit. No,
This is separate, so thank you very much for that. So this will be, as you know, we transitioned our fiscal year to January through December. So we also at that point in time transitioned our job evaluation. So performance appraisals have been done. That is what we're at this point of year, is COLA and performance appraisals. We are still in the process of completing a compensation study, which is looking at market rate for our positions and ensuring that we are in line to be competitive and to be able to retain staff. Once that study comes back, there is additional revenue that has been put into the approved 2024 budget. It's part of a grant that would allow us to adjust salary structure. So that will be a separate vote at that point in time. I just wanted to make sure you guys understood why there would be 2 votes at separate times.
And are all the positions filled, or do you have any, another practitioner? Or is everything filled, all your offenses? Not yet. Hopefully this will help more money.
And the percentage is based on performance too. Not everyone is a 4% across the board.
That's maximum.
Right.
Yeah, but we budget everybody at the top.
Right.
Because you don't.
I just
know.
wanted people to understand that. My other question is the compensation, if it's a grant, then that's something, depending on the amount, we've got to sustain the following year also, so.
So it's actually a contract with the state, so we have that for 4 years.
Perfect.
So we have it, correct, we have it
Yes.
budgeted for 4 years.
Awesome.
Any other questions? All right, not hearing any, gonna call a vote for the 2024 employee base raises. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No, I'd like to see them get a minimum of $5 an hour raise.
Where would we get that money from?
Well, that's, you said
We
no,
got
let's,
it.
let's don't get
It's in
into
our-
that
it's-
discussion.
it's
It's
in our-
not
It's, we got tons of money.
an
We're not,
inappropriate thing for a board member
why
to
not
bring
give
up.
it to the people
All
that
right,
work for
next
us?
is dinner. Number 4 is off the table, so next is next on the agenda is entertaining topics for next agenda. I know that Ms. Henry, I think you have one that you wish to.
As part of the personnel committee, Dennis and I would like to have, we need to discuss Kelly Bulmer's contract for the next year.
Okay,
so-
do we have a first on that? We have a second?
Second.
All right, so we have first and second, so we'll put that on there. Is there anything else? All right, not hearing any, I'm gonna go to the next item, which is public. I'm sorry, Dennis, you have something?
I'm sorry, just, are we gonna need to, do 2 readings on that, or how's that gonna work?
I'll have to review it, I don't,
It's not a resolution.
it's not a
so no.
resolution or ordinance, so no.
Okay. Thank
Right.
you.
We had to wait on that until we got the bylaws finalized.
All right,
Right.
so next on the agenda is public comments, and I believe Mr. Leaderbrand, I believe you signed in, so.
Yeah. My name is, thank you, my name's Alan Leaderbrand. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Unfortunately, public comments is after things you voted on. I wanted to ask some questions about the budget. And maybe you can still answer them. It was great that I saw that, some expenses went down, but I was just curious as to why salaries and benefits went down over 218,000. Why all of a sudden now contractual fees are down 250,000. Also, capital projects funded is up 563,000 up to 863. So I'm not sure if that's money that's being set aside for the new building, or you're looking for future, because it wasn't really detailed out. And also I saw that reserves was only at 100,000. What happened to the left? Was there any leftover money from this year? How much is it going to be? Gets rolled over in reserves, I'm assuming, because that's what most groups do. And there was no mention of an estimated amount of reserves. Also, just the second thing was on the meeting minutes approval. We skipped the November 30th meeting, went to December 6th special meeting. So are you still going to approve the meeting minutes from November 30th?
It has not been completed yet.
Okay, I was just at,
No,
just seems
good
strange.
point.
You went to December, so that's
Good
what
point.
I'm just asking.
Some of them are a little easier than others, you know.
Right, okay. And that's all I have. Thank you very much for your
Okay.
time.
I can explain, we jumped to the December 6th to get them to the bank.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Chris, do you have anything you'd like to answer? I might as well. Go ahead. It's fine.
I didn't write down all your questions. So one of your questions was about the employees, the way the.
Salaries and benefits are down so much.
Okay, so
So
we,
normally, I mean, every group, it's always going up.
so we had a few employees that have left. Aspen has left, the employees that were part of that, they have left.
Okay,
And we have some positions that we did not fill when they became vacant. So that's the reason for the cut.
and will the new, I guess, was the new proposed increases gonna be part of?
It's already in there, yeah.
Okay, so it's still there. Okay.
Yep, it's still in there.
So what was your other question?
Contractual fees, why it was such a big drop?
Aspen again, they
Okay.
had contractual fees for all of their software and all of that.
And then the capital projects fund,
How much were you?
It's up 563,000.
Yes, so 400,000 of that is for, I'm calling it reserves, like contingency funds, if we have anything we need for the new building that's not rolled up into the loan.
Okay, all right, and then what happens to the leftover reserve, the money that's left over at the end of the year?
So those reserves you're looking at, that's actually non-operating expenses. And that's just another contingency fund that we put, in there.
But what about at the end of the year? I mean, most budgets, you have money left over, where does that get rolled to? Because that usually gets rolled into reserve.
It can't get rolled into reserves.
Where do you roll it to?
Well, currently we leave it in our bank account because we only get a big influx of dollars around January, February from taxes. So we leave it in there to make sure that we can pay the bills as they come due.
So the revenue, it gets into part of roll over into the new budget.
Yeah, well, because that didn't see that show up, so that's why.
It doesn't roll over into the new budget. It lives in our bank account. And
Oh, so
yeah,
just
it lives in the bank
it's
account,
part
it
of the
earns
bank.
interest, all of that, but we leave it in there to make sure that there's money.
How much are we looking at that? Because I'm just curious, because normally everybody rolls it over into, into the general bank account. So I'm just asking a question, so.
Yes. This year, we don't really have any,
Okay.
additional funds left over for the year. So there's nothing really to roll over.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman? Does the public have a copy of the new bylaw changes? Have they been posted ahead of time?
It has to get signed.
If not,
It has
will they
to
be able to see them?
Miss Davis, once it gets signed and processed, they'll get on the website, just like the others are. All right.
But a copy has been put out there, right?
Yeah,
Of
the
majority,
unofficial copy,
yeah.
I believe, has been put out.
Right.
But when the official copy gets signed and everything gets laid out, it'll be on there, I would say, in the next couple of days.
And maybe we'll get it done today, I don't know if it's today or tomorrow.
Mr.
All right,
Mr.
so-
Chairman, I think the public would like to have been able to see it while it was in the formative stages, in case they wanted to come in and make comments about certain things. Why wasn't it out there before we voted on it? That's what I keep getting.
Times in the two previous meetings.
It's been posted,
It's been out there.
it's been out there.
The proposed bylaw changes is out there, and where is out there? Where?
Mr. Chairman, the proposed bylaw changes have been exhaustively gone through by our legal counsel in open session presentation, as well as have been presented in the minutes prior to. So once the bylaws are adopted and signed, then they get posted onto the website. So there's no confusion between prior versions and current versions. That's the reason we don't have both out at the same time.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna call, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please?
Or make a motion?
I'll second.
I second.
Any discussion? Not hearing it, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed?